pizza, pizza, a bite of pizza. 틀린 게 아냐, 그저 다를 뿐이야. Pizza, pizza, a bite of pizza. 알게 될 거야.
Okay, so for the first opinion, I'm actually going to rant on K-pop stans and my frustration towards them and the minors issue. Now, I'm not sure if this actually is true and that they do it, but this is my thoughts on K-pop stans and their reaction to the minors issue. So please don't get mad if my opinion comes off as hate or anything, because this is just my thoughts and what I think. It might not be true, and I'm not 100% sure if this is true, so please take it with a grain of salt. So the opinion is, why are people only noticing minors in K-pop now because bigger, better budgeted companies are debuting minors, when in the past smaller companies have debuted minors as well? Like if you look at groups like High Cutie and Busters who debuted in 2017, and groups like Pretty that have been around since 2015, I believe so, and they are now redebuted into Pretty G in 2021, and groups like Cookie that debuted in 2021. All four of these groups that I mentioned have minors in them, and even though in the past there have not been many minor groups with minors in them, as they are becoming now in K-pop and more minors are debuting in K-pop, it has still been there in the past among smaller companies, but I've never seen K-pop stars raise that much issues as they are raising up issues now about minors in K-pop. Like, I believe that K-pop stars don't actually care about the minors issue in K-pop, and they only care now because bigger, better budgeted companies are debuting them. If smaller companies continue to debut minors in K-pop, I believe K-pop stars wouldn't care as much or raise as much issues because they are from smaller companies and they are unknown groups and they are not known to the public that much, so K-pop stans don't know much about them, and they don't really raise issues about minors in K-pop because they probably think that it's not happening. But I believe that K-pop stans only raise issues about minors in K-pop now because they come from bigger, better budgeted companies, and not cause they actually care about the minors issue in K-pop. This is just my thoughts, so please take it with a grain of salt, as I said in the starting, and this is not 100% true. These are just my thoughts and what I think. Okay, so the next opinion is that I find it weird why people say this song or this group is a breath of fresh air when they talk about songs by groups that are not girl crush or anything that's popular or any concept that people are tired of seeing because it's overdone. I find it weird because there are no groups or songs that are breaths of fresh air, because so many groups debut each year, but not every group debuts with a girl crush type concept or a popular concept, because some groups debut with a fun upbeat song, a summer song, a cute song, a sexy song, a mature song. Maybe they debut as a trot group, or maybe they have an EDM song or a dance track. So many amazing breaths of fresh air songs get released each year, but since groups on people's radar are more seen by people in K-pop stands, they tend to think that these groups that are on their radar are breaths of fresh air, when in fact they're just doing the same as other groups, because there's so many groups who are doing the same concept as groups you all call breath of fresh air. But since they are so underrated that nobody notices them, and only the groups that are on their radar are noticed by people. If you all checked out more groups, you all would know that no group is a breath of fresh air, since many groups could be doing the same exact concept and there could be an abundance of it. The next opinion is that people speak a lot more than they do their research. People will say a lot of things that are untrue because they're too lazy to research. People never actually put in the effort to research and just constantly talk about the same thing over and over again because they love to. Why do people have to only look at a small area of K-pop, that is the well-known popular side, and then base their thoughts, opinions of this tiny area in K-pop, and then constantly talk about things without looking at the other sides of K-pop? People think that K-pop nowadays is noise, or is not that amazing anymore, or they think that K-pop songs are just made for popularity purposes, or people are just making songs for popularity purpose, or some stupid dumb shit like that, when they just happening in the well-known popular side of K-pop, and people are just not doing their research. Please start doing your research and stop assuming that the whole industry of K-pop is the same when it isn't, and stop assuming that every single group is doing the same things that you say they are doing, like making a song for popularity basis, or are just noise, or whatever, when it isn't, and you all just are basing your opinions off the bigger well-known side, which I have said 1,000 times on my channel, and I will continue to say it in different ways, even if I have to say it in different languages also. Stop basing your opinions of bigger well-known budgeted groups and popular groups when that's only a small portion of the K-pop industry as a whole. So the next opinion is that K-pop stans say the most craziest untrue things that are laughable, to be honest, and I actually find them funny. They don't really think before saying things, and I know that whatever they say is untrue because I come across them and then I say that they see that they're untrue, and then I comment that it's untrue because nobody in the comments of that post or of that, comment, whatever, actually see the untrue things. I've come across maybe 4 or 5 things said by K-pop stans that are untrue, and these people have said these things so confidently, like they think it's true, when they actually should know that it's false and it's misinformation. When I come across things that I know are untrue and even debunked on my channel by using Nugu groups, which are actually the answers to all these untrue things and they're actually the answers of debunking these untrue things, I actually have proven that whatever the things that K-pop stans have said without doing research or thinking are actually untrue, and I have proven it with Nugu groups and I have proven it with smaller company groups or the unknown side of K-pop, etc., etc., etc. People actually say dumb things and continue to say dumb things because they don't know anything about Nugu K-pop groups and they don't know anything about the unknown side of K-pop, and they just base their opinions of bigger well-known budgeted groups, and then they go like, oh, this is dying, oh, this needs to come back, oh, this that, without actually searching on Nugu groups. And they don't really know that their thoughts can be easily debunked by anyone with a brain or who knows Nugu groups or who does research, and whatever they say is actually misinformation. They think whatever they're saying is true when it's actually not. Okay, so the last opinion is that fourth generation isn't noise, and it's true. Y'all are literally just looking at the bigger, better budgeted, well-known, popular side of K-pop, and y'all are basing your opinion of that by saying fourth generation is noise. There are so many groups that debut each year from every single generation, and yet y'all are basing your opinions over a handful of groups that have debuted in bigger, better budgeted company groups. I've said this example many times and I will say it again. In 2021, 60 plus girl groups debuted, but K-pop stans mostly knew only about 10 to 15 or maybe less girl group debuts. This shows that people are not informed on the Nugu side of K-pop. They say dumb things, they don't look at the Nugu side of K-pop, and yet they have the audacity to say dumb shit like this. I'm about to make a new debunking video soon called 4th Generation Isn't Noise, where I share different boy groups and girl groups from the Nugu side of K-pop in 4th Generation that have released songs that are not noisy K-pop, and these songs are cute or fun, upbeat EDM songs that are not noise, dance tracks, trot songs, etc., etc., etc. I'm going to be showing you all in that video that 4th generation isn't noise. Why do you all have the audacity to say that 4th generation is noise just because you looked at a couple of 4th generation noise K-pop songs and you all based your opinion off of that? K-pop does not revolve around the bigger, well-known side of K-pop, as I said 1,000 times. There are so many Nugu groups that debut each year from small companies without a budget, from small companies who have slightly budget and can make okay enough MVs and decent enough MVs, or from companies that can make good MVs but don't get noticed. There are so many groups that have views ranging from 1k to 100k, groups that reach up to 500k or make it up to 1 million, but they're still unknown. There are so many groups that don't get enough views or fans or don't promote much on music shows because they don't have a budget. There are so many Nugu groups that debut, yet y'all base your opinions off of bigger, better budgeted company groups because y'all are stupid and y'all like to base your opinions off of the well-known popular side without actually doing proper research. Why can't y'all just do your research so that y'all can stop saying dumb shit like this, stop spreading misinformation, and stop with the dumb things y'all say? 4th generation isn't noise, and if y'all did your research, y'all would have known that. And I actually know a lot of Nugu groups, so that's why I know a lot of the things that K-pop stans say are dumb. 4th generation isn't noise. Please do your research. Please stop it, because there are so many amazing songs that aren't noise in the 4th generation. If y'all looked at that, y'all would have not said 4th generation is noise in the first place, and y'all would have not spread this misinformation around.
I see it on the